Greetings and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 44 of The Angry Chicken, a podcast about Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. I'm Garrett Weinzel, and I'm joined as always by Miss Jocelyn Moffat, and we decided to nerf the show, so we're actually down, we're reducing Dill's presence by one episode a year. So
that's pretty much the plan.
That's what's going on there. How you doing, Joss?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I wish I could see you talking. If you're watching the live show or the video feed, Jocelyn's video refuses to work while our guest is in the call, and that's why you're just seeing Jocelyn looking out about the water in a meditative, smiling,
being all chill and stuff.
Glance. Yeah, just being a chill Canadian like you do. I'm sure that water is just uncomfortably cold to a level that I just don't want to.
I've only swam in the ocean up here once, and I will never do it again because I couldn't feel my feet.
Gotcha. You need to come down to visit Florida is what it sounds like you need to do.
Absolutely. Well, February, dude.
Well,
or March, or whenever that happens to be.
We may be postponing it till fall because of nightmares that happened this
spring
weekend.
Break Florida plans. You can't mess with this stuff.
I know. If only I was planning my wedding around you visiting instead of actually marrying my fiance.
Exactly.
If only that's
Don't
what
get it
was going
twisted,
on.
Garrett. Come on, priorities.
Well, anyways, that after pulling aside that little curtain into the window of my life, we also have a guest with us today because, as many of you probably noticed, it's a new month. It's what month is it? It is September, which means the Hearthstats August report is out. So Chris, welcome back to the show. Chris from Hearthstats.net, everyone.
Guys, thanks for having me. I feel like really high maintenance right now because like Jocelyn can't be on the video, and I'm like, if you're looking at the live stream right now, I'm like wedged in between both of them, like making room for me or whatever. I feel high maintenance.
Totally booted Dills.
I'm getting Dills out of here.
People don't know this either. I had to have a large ball of only green M&Ms sent to the digital green room. It was Chris is one of the most high maintenance guests we have. It's
if I see a blue in there, I'm sending it back. And I won't be on the show.
All right.
Table flip.
Table flip.
Oh, jeez.
Well, thanks for having me, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem, man. Not a problem at all. Now that those pesky introductions are out of the way, let's get into this week's news.
Good news, everyone!
All right, Chris, this is where we put you to work because, as we mentioned, the Hearthstats August report is out, and everyone can see it over at hearthstats.net/AUG. That's for the August report. And you guys put one of these out every month, and we really like looking at them over here because we get to see how win rates have changed and what popular classes are being played, which actually hasn't really changed much. But it's interesting because this is the first one we've really gotten to see since, all of the Naxx cards have been available.
Yeah, I think it was hard to look at it last month because just so much was going on, and
the game was really in flux.
Yeah, it just everything was happening, and people were just basically going to play almost like the previous month. They're going to play their favorite classes, and so I think it's good because this is really the first month that we can kind of dive back into the meta and how things are shifting, what people are learning, and with the new cards, and it's an interesting time to be a Hearthstone player. That's for sure.
Oh, that's for damn sure. So Hearthstats, of course, if people are unfamiliar with it, Hearthstats.net, you all have just one of the best and fully featured stat tracking sites out there for Hearthstone. And you can either enter it manually or there is the uploader if you're playing on PC. Is there a Mac version?
There is, yes.
Okay, I don't play Hearthstone on my Mac, so I wasn't sure. But so this, just a disclaimer, this is obviously not stats from every Hearthstone player ever. This is just those who are playing on Hearthstats.net. But it is the largest sample size that we really have access to because we don't have access to the statistics that Blizzard gets to look at.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's still quite a few people that play it, but yeah, it is important to know that it's just a sample set of the players, but it's the best that that is out there right now. That tracks just everybody that's using it gets logged into the system, and so we can just see everybody's activity, and so it's the most comprehensive thing that's out there right now. So. Yeah,
And
if you got, oh, sorry, go ahead.
it's quite a big sample size too. You've got what, almost 130,000 people using it, contributing data every month. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that use it, and it's I feel it's only growing, and it's really cool to see, how, the different ways that people use it. There's so many different features on the actual uploader that I think we're gonna start doing a better job of advertising what those features are, because there's so many features on there that, I mean, the Jeff, the guy that runs the site, just he adds things and doesn't necessarily even always tell us. And so, like, because that's how often he's adding them, and it's just awesome. Like, I mean, for example, we just added the new feature where if you make a deck list in your on the site, you can upload it into Hearthstone automatically, and it can actually goes the other way around as well. You can actually take your deck in Hearthstone and put it into the site as well. There's so many different options that you can have in the actual uploader itself. It's really cool. It's a really cool tool to have. So if you guys are ever curious, just go on and download it. It's for free, and you can check it out. Just mess around with it and see everything that it can do.
Yeah. So that obviously leads to the statistics we're looking at today, and I was interested to see the changes in it. And it's funny because the very first thing on your report every month is the most played classes, of which there's been no change at all in the top 3 most played classes in Constructed and Arena from July to August. It's in Constructed, it's been Warlock, Druid, and Rogue, and in Arena, Mage is still in the number 1 spot, with Paladin in the 2nd spot and Druid coming up 3rd.
Yeah, so if we're talking Constructed, just I have one word, and that's zoo. There's no, like, I mean, I guess I hope that Nax would kind of nerf that or whatever, but zoo is like, that's what people learn on, and that's what, that's what a lot of people ladder with. And so I think Warlock, it's been number 1 for how many months now?
I don't even know. I feel like it's been up there for
at least 3, because it was way back to
I'm about to say
maybe May.
I feel like that has been the case since we started having you join us once a month.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, yep.
And we skipped a month, so 4 months, I think. Because
it's been a long. This is my 3rd time on.
Yeah,
we skipped a month.
So we're pretty sure it's been at least 4 months, if not longer. But I mean, I don't necessarily think that speaks to Warlock being the strongest class. I think it's Zoolock is the most accessible.
It is.
It's any time a new friend of mine gets into the game and asks me, well, what should I be playing if I just want to grind? Well, I'm like, well, honest answer, I think it's Zoo. If you're coming into with no cards, it's the cheapest deck to make that is consistent.
I think probably next month we're going to see a big upswing in Hunters.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Warlock's going to be unseated.
Really?
From the top.
Really?
I think so. God, have you played Ladder this month? It's all Hunters.
I have, and believe me, I'm sick of seeing it. But I'm not sure if that's like the case down in the lower ranks still, and I don't know.
I will say that I think that it's gonna. That's almost all I see as well, Jocelyn. It's almost all Hunters. Probably 75% Hunters, which is pretty high percentage in Hearthstone. But I don't know if I would think it's going to be the number 1 spot, but I would guess that it's going to jump up to the number 2 or something like that. It's actually cool, Jocelyn, that you mentioned that. If you look, that we have a feature on our site. It's actually, we need to get it into the actual dashboard. But if you sign out and you just go to hearthstats.net, it shows like the stats of the past 2 weeks. And Hunter's number 1. So Hunter's, okay. I think it's Hunter's number 1 of the win rates.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's kind of cool like to see.
Straight up hearthstats.net.
Yeah, and if you have to be, I don't think you can be logged in. So if you just go to hearthstats.net and there's like the dashboard before you sign in shows kind of like a glimpse of how how the meta is working.
Very cool.
Yeah, and so Hunter's number 1 right now for the last 2 weeks. So,
and it even shows like decks and stuff. Man, this is so cool.
Yeah, it shows top tool. Decks and recent decks, and yeah, it's pretty. We're adding a lot of stuff to this, so it's pretty exciting.
So what big differences, if any, were you most surprised to see after Curse of Naxxramas?
Oh man, I would say my most surprising. I would have honestly, like with what Jocelyn said, I would have thought Hunter would have been higher. I think I was more surprised with who wasn't at the top rather than who was. I was surprised to see Paladin at the bottom. I feel like I see quite a few Paladins. This, of course, is only going on my own, like my own accord. I don't see a whole lot of Druids, and I don't see that many Shamans anymore. And so I would have thought those guys would have been lower in the ranks.
Yeah, I was expecting, looking at constructed win rates. Back in July, Warriors were number 5. I don't know. Again, I think this might be personal bias because I'm playing a lot of Control Warrior, but I've also been seeing a lot of Warrior on the ladder. Maybe not this past week, but definitely during the 5 weeks that Nax was rolling out, especially towards the latter half. I was expecting Warrior to go up higher. Now they did go up. They went up by 1 point. They're number 4 in win rates for constructed, but as opposed to number 5. But I don't know. I wouldn't have. In my head, I'm like, I bet Warrior made it in top 3. I bet, but I was surprised to see they didn't quite break that yet.
It's because the Warrior games take so long to play.
So you mean it's just they literally don't
so
have enough time?
They have less games
to
because those Control
games?
Warrior games go on forever.
That's really funny and also partially true. Yeah, they're just barely behind Druid according to the Hearthstats. So they're getting up there. Go Warrior. That's my new class of choice.
What were you guys most surprised about?
Well, that for me the Warrior, but Jocelyn, what about you?
I think that Shaman was so high. I mean, I saw them a lot back in probably June, July, and then they seemed to just drop right off as soon as Nax came out. So I was surprised that there were still so many Shaman games.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I didn't really expect that either because Reincarnate didn't really have the kind of effect that at least I thought it was going to have on the game.
Yeah, I thought everyone was going to play it, and I have seen some people use it with the egg, killing it to get the 4/4 and then reincarnating and getting the egg back again. But other than that, I haven't seen people playing it very much at all.
I must have gotten, and I don't know what brought this on because the cards have been available for a while. I must have gotten at least 6, like a combination of emails and tweets from people who had were playing Shaman and somehow got out 5 Kel'Thuzads this week. I don't know why it was this week was everyone go crazy with Reincarnate and Kel'Thuzad, but this was the week apparently. So
I feel like the meta right now is gearing so much towards aggro, which a lot of times I feel like it is, but right now in particular, it's so aggro. To me, I feel like it's pretty aggro, and I was playing against some Shamans today, and I feel like they're just too slow to get moving. I mean, once they do, it's it's hard to stop them. But I will shamefully admit that I was playing Zoo today, and Shamans couldn't beat me with my Zoo deck, and so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's just me or what, but
I think it might be just you because I do really well against Zoo when I play Shaman. But
do you?
But yeah. If I'm gonna play against Zoo, I'd rather personally I want to either be my Control Warrior or my Shaman deck. Those are the 2 decks I would take against Zoo any day. But yeah, it's strange because I don't. Again, this is personal and this is results oriented. Obviously, we're looking at hard stats. I don't feel like I see a lot of Shaman either. So yeah, that's surprising. I was also in my head thinking Mage might drop an Arena, but they haven't budged, man.
No.
Why did you think that Mage might drop?
I don't know, because I felt like all of the other classes were getting, well, except maybe Paladin, were getting pretty strong class cards, whereas Paladin and Mage with Duplicate and Avenge were not really strong. And since all of the class cards were common, I figured, well, an infusion of a good common card that's specific to that class will probably make the other classes get us, their day in the Arena sun. But Arena really hasn't swapped at all. The only thing that's happened is in the 3 and 4th places, Shaman and Paladin have swapped. Paladin's up to the 3rd spot in August, whereas Shaman was in the 3rd spot back in July.
Yeah, I feel like it's always kind of like Mage, Paladin, Druid, like Shaman in there sometimes, but I'm still surprised that Rogue doesn't shoot up there. I love playing Rogue in an Arena.
Well, in Arena, they're number 1.
Well, and win rate, yeah.
Yeah.
And matches matches played.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No, I was talking about win rates.
Oops,
Okay,
sorry
because I was
about
like,
that.
I was like, Garrett, what numbers are you looking at? I was looking up at games played too. and
Oh no,
so
I'm looking at
confused.
global win rates because I was that's what I was talking about. I'm surprised. I was surprised not to see Shaman. I was surprised to see Shaman so high in constructed, and I was surprised not to see more of a shakeup in arena in win rates. So, I don't know, but yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious to see if Hunter stays on top for the September report.
Yeah, I personally think it's going to shoot up in number of games played. I don't know about the win rate. The win rate on it isn't very good. I don't know if we're getting into win rates yet, but the Hunter win rate isn't very good. And I mean, I don't know if that's reflective of not knowing, people trying out these new builds and not. But the thing, I guess I don't know, because in the report now we include the change in percentage of compared to last report, and so it's up. So it has a higher win rate than it did last report. So I don't know. Man.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Sometimes this report gives me more questions than it does answers. So it's a good thing, though. It's a good thing because it makes you dive into the numbers and makes you think about it a little bit more.
Well, in that case, I guess my prediction of Warrior being higher worked because they have had the largest uptick in win rates in constructed. Hunter's right behind him though, by like 0.04%. So it's pretty. They're definitely on the rise. So you can see the trend of what we kind of thought was happening, reinforced in the win rate numbers here. So that's cool.
And I haven't played Warrior since the Naxx has been out, so I need to give that a.
It's so awesome, but oh my god,
that weapon is so good.
If you don't, but that being said, there is no matchup in this world that makes me want to take pliers and tear my teeth out faster than seeing another warrior across from me when I'm playing Warrior. Just like, you know what, I don't have time for this.
No. Yeah, because that's a long game then, right?
It's going to be a really long game.
I've had multiple games go to fatigue damage.
So Jocelyn, they've converted you to Warrior, haven't they?
Yeah, they totally have.
So what are your thoughts on the Warrior?
Oh man, I love it. But it's so true. Like my matches just take forever. I have a really, really, really high win rate. I usually go, 3 or 4 games before I lose one, and then I'll go back on another 3 or 4 win streak, but they take forever. I'm sitting there for like 20, 25 minutes, just like, oh, come on. I've gone to fatigue like probably every other match. Like it's just, they're crazy, crazy long. And it is more consistent for laddering than say like Zoo, but like Zoo, you can get 3 games in the time you get 1 Warrior game in.
That's why I like the Zoo, because you just play them fast. And if you lose one, I don't know. I go on tilt quite a bit, but
I hate losing stars so much.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. I just feel like I more consistently win with the Control Warrior as opposed to the Zoo Lock. Even if I technically can rank up faster, I don't know. I like sitting there and thinking about everything and having options as opposed to just deploying my whole hand. Don't get me wrong, I play a lot of Zoo, but at the end of the day, it's like if I had to just play one right now, I think I'd go to the Control Warrior just because I enjoy playing the deck so much. It's just a lot of.
I've been kind of cycling through Hunter, Warrior, and sometimes Zoo, but I feel like I need to branch out.
Sounds like you play what Dills tells you to play, Jocelyn. That's what I'm.
I really do, actually. I'm not gonna lie. He says this is something you have to try because you're really gonna like it. I'm like, all right.
Dills isn't here, but I hear him coming through you, and like Obi-Wan talking to Luke. Like, like what's going on here?
Use the Force.
Yeah, exactly.
Channeling my inner Dills.
But Chris, before we move out of the stats here, Hearthstats has a big event coming up. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so it's a big event. So actually starting September 15th, so a week from today.
Next Monday.
Next Monday, yes. We are starting an invitational, Hearthstats Invitational. So what that is, we invited 16 of the best players in the world for a $5,000 prize pool. And basically it's a week-long event going into Saturday. And it's different rounds, so we have different pools each day, and then the finals are Friday and Saturday, I believe. and yeah, it's just gonna be fun. We have like some fun games going on in between. We have like cube drafts, and just there's a game that we have where two of the pros are gonna pick the worst deck that they can, and then they're gonna give it to the other player, and just different things going on in between the actual games for the tournament. And so we're really excited. This is gonna be our first tournament. Garrett, I believe you and Dills are hosting on...
Yeah, Wednesday, September 17th, Dills and I will be casting the Hearthstats tournament that night. It won't be an open.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. Provided, of course, that Dills is not still plagued like he is this evening, but I think he'll be fine in a week and a half.
He should be.
I hope so. If not, we have bigger problems we need to worry about.
Yeah.
And I can't even back you up because I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere with no internet. So
I'll just solo cast it. I'll call Chris in and just be like, Chris, you just want to hang out? We'll just talk about the game that's unfolding in front of us.
I'll totally get on with you. It's okay.
There we go. Done. I've got.
They're gonna be like, who is this guy? But that's all right.
I'll just yeah. I was thinking I could just hold up my Chihuahua and he can bark, and that'll be my co-caster. But
yeah, there you go.
That's a fine fill-in for Dills.
You're gonna be one of those.
One of those? Is that a normal thing in esports casting that I'm not aware of?
Well, yeah, people always have their dogs, well, at least on Twitch.
Yeah.
Maybe not actual legitimate sports casting, but still.
Christy, by any chance know which players are playing the Wednesday we're casting? I know I had a list at one point, but I can't seem to...
Yes, I do. You want to talk about something else really fast, and then I'll...
Sure thing. My Chihuahua is wonderful. He's long-haired. He's 5 pounds soaking wet.
Yes. I actually have 2 dogs too, but they're in a different room with my fiance, so they get to fighting, especially when I'm on the phone, and so they're not allowed to be in the same room when I talk. Yeah.
Mine gets locked out for the shows.
So Wednesday, you guys will be casting Dart, ECOP, Kalento, and Alchemixed.
All right, nice. I will take that.
So basically, the way the setup goes for the first 4 days so we have 4 different groups. And basically they play. They just play. Everybody plays everybody, and so it's not necessarily a tournament style within the groups, but from there, so you play everybody, and then the top 2 people advance to the round of 8. So there's 2 people that advance from each group to a round of 8, which is on Friday, and then those advance to the Saturday, which is the semifinals and the finals. So. Yeah, so you guys are gonna have your hands full because that's a pretty hefty group.
Yeah, it's a stack. All the groups are on it. Like I remember when Jeff approached me and was like, "Hey, do you mind if we mention this on the show?" And by the way, I'm looking for casters, and he showed me all the groups. I'm just like, throw a dart, man. I'll be happy casting any of these.
There's really not a weak group at all. We've got Masan, Thais, Brad from DKMR, and Amaz in the first group. Savij, Christopher from DKMR, RDU, and Gara in the second group. You're the third group, and then the fourth group we have Kit Kat, Strife Crow, Nimsh, and Raynad.
Yeah, so that's a fairly stacked Hearthstone tournament.
It's gonna and so it's gonna be $5,000 for the winner, and then for the prize pool. So I think it's split slightly for the first 2 or 3 people, but then that actually feeds into our Hearthstats League, which we haven't announced the date when that's going to start, but it's actually an open invitational. So anybody who wants to play, anybody at all that wants to play, can join this and have a chance to climb the ranks into getting into this basically 16-player tournament for at least a $5,000 pool every time we do it. It's basically pools that feed into that. So like you have to qualify in order to get into the 16-player tournament. So
I so want to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys should give it a try. I'm definitely gonna play. I'm just try it out, and it's a good chance to play with some of the best players in the world, and it's a good chance for people to prove themselves if they're trying to climb the ranks, and it's a good chance for just some good Hearthstone all around.
That's great, man. Anything with any resemblance of an open bracket makes me happy in competition. That's what made me enjoy MLG so much back in the early StarCraft 2 days. was the open bracket compared to a lot of the other tournaments. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I'm taking part in the event, but I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so we don't have the exact dates announced for the actual league yet. So if you guys just follow at Hearthstats on Twitter, and we'll keep you guys up to date, and we'll definitely keep the Angry Chicken crew up to date as well. And actually, it's if you go to hearthstats.net/tourney, I think is what it is. Oh no, sorry, hearthstats.net/league. LEAGUE, and that should give you guys all the info you need if you're curious about it any further. So
awesome, totally awesome. Well, we wish you guys luck, and Chris, as always, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us as we go through, as we dissect your report for the month. Really appreciate it. And before you go, where can folks find you outside of this whole tournament business?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Lieutenant Lunatic 22 on Twitter. It's LT Lunatic 22. You can find Hearthstats at Hearthstats. Just at Hearthstats. Hearthstats.net is our website. And yeah, that's the easiest way to reach me, or Chris at Hearthstats.net. I'm pretty responsive there as well. So if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm happy to talk. We'll be at BlizzCon in November. If are you guys going to BlizzCon?
Oh hell yeah, we're getting beers.
Oh yeah,
we are getting many beers.
All right, yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So
it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, so that's the easiest way to reach me. And if you guys are at BlizzCon, if anybody else is at BlizzCon, come say hi. There's gonna be a group of us. So
sweet, totally sweet, man. Well, you have a good one, Chris, and we'll see you next month.
All right, thanks guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Have a good
Thanks
one,
for coming.
All right, see ya.
Jocelyn, I'm going to restart the call, see if we can get your video going.
Okay, cool.
See if I can just call her here. Try it, and oh my god, there's a Jocelyn that's in motion. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Well, that's cool. I'm excited to get my casting on again with Dills. It's been a while. It's been too long.
Yeah, I know. Dills and I were actually talking on the weekend about how we need to get the whole Angry Chicken Invitational thing going on. Or not Invitational, the Patreon one.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
hopefully soon. I move October 1st, so in October maybe.
Sweet. Well, let's move on with the news, because Yong Woo had a lot of stuff to say on Hearthstone from Gamescom. I know we talked about one of his interviews a couple weeks ago, but he had even more to say to icyveins.com about the future of the game, and here are some highlights from that. Obviously was asked about observer mode, and he said that observer mode is the #1 request from the community and is at the top priority list of the dev team. Obviously no date yet. We kind of knew that after we talked to Ben Brode. But I want a date. I don't care if they don't have one yet. Lie to me.
At least say soon.
I'm pretty sure that they said soon. Unfortunately, though, he also said that replays are not something that's currently being worked on.
Interesting. So they're looking at something for you to be able to just watch live, but not record and watch later?
Correct.
Oh.
So, because in StarCraft from day one, we had replays. Mm-hmm. We couldn't watch them with friends from day one. That came much later, I believe, in Heart of the Swarm. I always said Heart of the Storm because Blizzard, you make your damn games too similar. Yeah, so this. Oh man, this still kind of bugs me a little bit because of the way. And when you think about the way we did our tournament back when we had them play each other, each player recorded their own thing, then they sent us the videos. This would mean if you could, it would definitely make things way easier. And I don't mean to be the I got what I want, but it's not exactly what I want jerk. But it
basically means that you're going to have to go into Hearthstone. You're going to have some sort of recording, something going, and then you're going to have to observe something and record it on your own, as opposed to being able to open up in the engine.
You're going to need an XSplit or an OBS or some kind of video capture. But whatever, it'll still make things so much easier than it was before. I was really hoping for replays. Because I would really like to do weekly things where people send me their stupid games and I commentate over them, and this is not making that easy at all.
We have plans, Blizzard. Come on.
Come on. There's so many things I want to do, but are 10 times harder to do at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't have that much time. He said that 2v2 and other game modes to play with friends are also not currently being worked on. That observer mode is really eating up all of the Just trying everything out. That all their efforts going into that in the moment, and I'm fine with that. Tell me awesome things are not being worked on, but at least tell me why they aren't being worked on. And saying observer mode, all right, fine, I'll shut up and sit in the corner. I'm really excited for observer mode.
I think we'll probably see it, at least some sort of version of it at BlizzCon, I think.
Observer? Oh, I would hope so.
Observer mode, yeah.
Could you imagine getting down to the finals and not having some kind of nice way to observe? Although, I mean, they did a great job last year because they obviously have all the video editing equipment they could ever possibly want, but...
Yes, exactly. They have minions for that. We are lacking minions.
yes, exactly. When I was told I didn't have to produce anything, just show up and cast on Wednesday, I'm like, yes, I'll do it. It sounds wonderful. Sign me up. He also, Yong Woo said that staggering content caused some problems. You actually brought this question up to Ben Brode, I believe, when we talked to him.
I did.
Was that staggering content caused some problems with classes getting their cards earlier than others during the Curse of Naxxramas, and that they will try to address this when they release new content in the future. That sounds a little like an obvious no duh when it comes to the next batch of cards where they said we're kind of getting all of them at once via new booster packs. But I'm assuming this means in future adventures.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it means future adventures. And I mean, like, it was an interesting experiment, and I don't think that they thought the meta was going to shift as much as it did week to week. I think that they thought that people would be kind of figuring things out, and but there's just so much conversation between Reddit and Hearthhead and podcasts and everything else. Like, I mean, people figure things out within like 24 hours of card releases. Be like, this is good, this is bad. Everybody plays the same deck. Go. So I think we saw shifts that were really, really, really fast.
And I don't necessarily. I mean, they said it caused some problems, so I'm assuming they're basing that off of something that they saw on their end internally. But I mean, me personally, I didn't really notice any issues with it because, I was owning noobs with new forms of the Warlock after week 1, and that was not the Warlock week.
Yeah, true.
It was just because the Nerubian Egg and the Haunted Creepers, synergized in so well with that particular deck. But I don't know. I'd be curious to ask him what
the problems actually
were.
What
What's inferring
happened?
this statement, but no, we'll find out. I'll corner him at BlizzCon and be like, tell me. Hopefully by then I'll have new questions, but hope to see some of the new cards come then. Said that no new keywords, meaning new mechanics such as Divine Shield and whatnot, are planned at the moment. So I'm assuming the new 100+ cards that they're designing are based around existing mechanics.
Which, I mean, that's kind of fair enough. I think if they were going to bring in new mechanics, then that would probably put them on a longer release schedule. And if that's the case, that's not really what people want. People want new cards as soon as possible. So
right.
I think we'll see new mechanics, but I think that they're in the early planning stages. So we're probably not going to see them till next year.
Yeah. He said in the future there's going to be a profile system in which we can see some more stats than currently exist in the game.
Fantastic.
I can hear Dills in the far distance cheering at the moment. There's no plan to change how the timer currently works. I'm fine with that.
I was going to say, are there big issues with how the timer works?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the question comes up from time to time, given the fact that in friendly games there used to be no timer. And maybe people feel like there should be a longer timer, but I don't know. I think I like it more now because it puts some kind of cap on turns in competitive games.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I like it in both competitive and friendly mode. I think it's good that you're not just sitting there, especially where most tournaments use friendly mode. Well, I guess all tournaments have to use friendly mode.
They would have to, yes. Otherwise, it's like, are we both hit play? Oh, crap, you didn't get it. Because that's what everyone's doing in Heroes of the Storm at the moment because there's no custom games.
But, right.
But yes, everyone uses the friend mode.
Hey, I'm allowed one blonde moment per show, okay?
It's fine. I make mistakes like that too. I expect you to call me out on them as I am calling you out on it now. Also saying there's no plans to add a new hero at this time.
At this time?
Well, it doesn't actually say that. I added that part on. It just says no plans to add a new hero. Period.
All those Death Knight people are just going to be like, damn it!
I want a Death Knight in the worst way. Right? But again, asking for things, even though I'm getting stuff I want already. I'm that kid on Christmas, man. I'm sorry. I want my N64 and my PlayStation. And also maybe more deck slots, although he said he doesn't really feel like the majority of players need it.
Yeah, I think that more deck slots is just I'm lazy.
It's a
don't delete decks that I no longer play.
Yeah, it's a convenience thing. I mean,
yeah. I just sit there with that last slot and go, well, you're my most recent one, and I'm not really using you, so or you were my random decks with Dill's slot or something like that. So I'm just like keep deleting that 9th deck, trying to make new ones.
Yeah, exactly. But when I think about it, I mean, I usually maybe at most have 4 or 5 decks I actually play frequently in rotation. So, I mean, it's a good point. I feel like, if you added another row, there'd be 3 more deck slots. And I feel like that would be the point where it would get crowded if I didn't clean up after myself.
Well, and you get to the point where then you'd have to scroll. And as soon as you have to scroll, it's like, oh.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, consider that. Because they are so concerned with having it clean and accessible. But, yeah. Good man, Yong Woo. Keep giving us information.
I feel like there's been so much information that's come out about both Hearthstone and WoW just in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's just information overload right now.
Yeah. Oh, gee, all the WoW stuff. I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm gonna at this point just turn off and wait for the expansion.
Yeah, really, eh?
It's like I'm
so much to keep track of, and they're just being so much more open. And I mean, Hearthstone has been very, very open since pretty much the beta. But it's such a change from traditional devs and traditional Blizzard. It's just it's so refreshing.
It's funny you mentioned it because we've probably said this on the last 4 episodes of Into the Nexus.
Oh, really?
Heroes of the Storm has been getting all kinds of previews and whatnot. And we just found out we're getting Gem Stormstout as a new hero this week.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. So it's just been, one right after the other. Obviously because they had Gamescom and they were previewing the 3 new heroes there, and then they brought it straight over to PAX and had a more recent build, and everyone was trying it. But we mentioned that too, because obviously on Into the Nexus, it's me and Kyle, and we did StarCast together. And so we're always drawing, we're like, man, StarCraft 2 was just it was just a wall. It was impenetrable. And every now and then they would yell from their Herald Tower, "This is what's happening!" And then it'd be 6 months of silence. But it's like Hearthstone just, I don't know, they just came in like a wrecking ball. What can I say?
Oh, God. I would have hoped you would have chosen any saying except for that.
But yeah, Hearthstone is really, I feel like, ushered in this kind of new age of this very accessible Blizzard, which I like a lot. Not biased at all because I do weekly news shows about Blizzard games, but regardless,
totally
it's a good time to be a Blizzard fan. Let's just put it that way. And BlizzCon hasn't even happened yet. So, chat room's losing their shit.
They're freaking out
over the Miley Cyrus reference. All right, wonderful. I'm allowed one weird thing a week, okay?
Yep.
We got
he
to see.
He also referenced Star Wars, so it balances out, guys, right?
That's not weird. That's not weird. That's just you're listening to a show with me on it. There will be Star Wars references. That's a given. We got to look at the Season 6 card back, which you are not excited about, but I think looks pretty dope.
Well,
I'm just going to throw your opinion out there for you.
I was going to say, you're not even letting me speak for myself now?
Nope.
Jeez.
Nope.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not as excited about this one as I have been for past ones. I know some people are really excited about the rainbow card back, and that, for me, the pirate one is kind of down there with the rainbow one, although it does sparkle. But no, I just love the Ice Crown one so much. No other card back will ever top that.
All right, yeah. I'm defending said pirate back, but this is not me saying this is my favorite card back. The Ice Crown card back is my favorite by a landslide victory.
I like the Fireside one too. So
I don't like the Fireside one. I still think it looks like a quilted pillow. It is not my favorite.
We can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. But I like this one. There's just some really good texture work on this. I love the just the way they painted it.
Yeah, I can see that from an artsy standpoint, I guess. I think what's throwing me off is I don't like the red stripes in the back. I feel like I don't know why they're there.
That is, however, Miss World of Warcraft player, the colors of a lot of the pirate sails in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I guess, but still, I don't know. If it was just straight up black, I think I would like that better.
All right. I don't know. I like the stripies, but you could just do black and then a darker black stripe, where it's not as jarring of a color difference. But I don't know. It's WoW. WoW has always been very colorful.
True.
So I or Warcraft. It's Warcraft. Warcraft has always been very good. It's not WoW specifically, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Well done. The little
It does have a lot of detail in it.
the
which
filigree
is,
skull in the corner. I'm just like, it's great. And I realize, probably the artists over at Blizzard are great, and this probably didn't take them nearly as long as it would take me to do it. But it's a really nice little touch. I like it.
And the Hearthstone logo is a big swirly wave, so that's pretty cool too.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm sure it'll be swirling around like a maelstrom. And you're gonna see it animated, and you're just gonna be like, yeah.
Oh, that's true. And see, this is the thing that I always forget is that these card backs are actually animated, so they're gonna do something, and it's gonna be, possibly subtle, but still, it's I don't know.
I was really hoping
Could
for
be
the for the Ice Crown one to have like a subtle glow below the ice, and it totally does, and I'm so happy. It's great. Love the Ice Crown back. And then finally, the Arachnid Quarter will not be free for much longer. The next launch event that awards free access to the Arachnid Quarter will be ending on September 30th. So I have a feeling if you're listening to this show, this is completely useless information for you.
Yeah, you've probably already played
But
some.
just in case,
In case
go
you've been holding
log
off until you've
into
got all your
Hearthstone.
gold or
What's
something.
wrong with you? Yeah. Oh, man. Do it. Do it. What are you waiting for? Do it. We have neglected crazy game stories so much for the last 5 weeks. We're going to skip strategies this week and get right into that.
Is the whole world gone crazy?
You're in trouble now.
You got it!
Crazy game stories. You can send them or not send them because honestly, so many have piled up. We'll be fine for the next 7 years to TACpodcast@gmail.com.
They're fun to read, though.
They are fun to read. Anytime we get a new one, and I catch it, and Jocelyn hasn't already seen it and then filed it away and decided what she's going to do with it. I sit there. It's one of my favorite things. Like when I'm at lunch, I'm just like, oh, we got a crazy game. I'll just read it, and I just sit there and kind of laugh to myself. And Katie's just like, are you checking Twitter again? I'm like, haha, no, I am not checking Twitter again. I am reading a crazy game story.
Crazy game stories.
Yeah. Today was the first day Katie ever watched me write show notes. And she was laughing her ass off because it was for A-Move Radio, and all of the hosts were in there at the same time, and we were messing with each other. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just made me think of that.
Oh my God. I never mess with you. I feel like I'll I don't know, you'll crash my computer somehow remotely. Be like, you put it in the wrong format. And my computer would just explode.
For those of you who have not podcasted with me before, I am a stickler for text formatting in my show notes. I don't get mad at you though, Jocelyn. No. It's like Ben and Kyle screw with me.
Your rage is real.
They screw with me so much in the show notes, but I just fix it how I want it and I leave it. It's not like I'm like, how dare you not use 10-point font for body text and 14-point font for a heading in bold.
You know what's really sad? I know that those are your sizes, and I know that headings are bold.
Yep. It's Arial font. It's 10-point for body text, 14-point bold for headings, 24-point bold for section divider headings. And
yeah, I know.
I am the blue color. Jocelyn's anything as for Jocelyn is in a green color. Dill's is in a dark red color. Not a light red because you can't read light red on white paper. We're really
welcome to my life, everyone.
We're really pulling back the curtain on how the angry chicken sausage is made. Anyways, our first crazy game story comes to us this week from OTK Shades, who said, or no, that's not who it's from. It's from James. Subject OTK Shades.
I followed the template. It says title and body.
I need to update my template then. Anyways, he says, hey, chickens. Just wanted to say that I am loving the shade of Naxxramas. I put 2 of them in a paladin deck along with Avenge and Echoing Ooze, along with some buffs and kneels. And not only is the deck doing fairly well, I am finding that 1 game in 3, thanks to Blessing of Kings and Blessing of Champions, I've been able to crank my shades up to 30 or 40 attack. And OTK opponents see coming for the entire game. I think I'll call it the Damocles deck, because the shade hangs over the opponent like an unshakable judgment of doom. It seems to be playing psychological havoc, as I am often seeing strange plays and errors as they try to deal with the shades. That's delightful.
I know. I think that that's really the best deck to use it in is in with the Paladin. just because of all the buffs. But
Yeah. Especially if you're throwing Echoing Oozes in there.
and Avenge.
Yeah. I reviewed Avenge. I'm surprised at how much I like the card. I was so ready to just rain Fs upon it. Much like Damocles.
Oh, F's from the ranking system. I was like, you stand there and just scream at your computer screen.
F. Yes, that's what I do when I don't like a card. With the Magic spoilers that are coming out, you should see me at home privately. It's terrible.
F.
God, Jocelyn. We need Dills here. Dills, like, otherwise it's just you and me taking shots at each other for 90 minutes. That's what it.
Best show ever.
I have noticed I've been laughing more than usual. Dills is like the dad who keeps everything in line.
He is.
Although I usually feel like that's my job when Dills is here, so I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, you want to take the next story?
Absolutely. This one comes to us from Michael. It's the angriest of chickens, which, by the way, the angry chicken is the current Reddit challenge for this week. So basically, there's a challenge put out to all the Hearthstone Redditors to take whatever not necessarily the worst card in the game, but a perceived bad card in the game and build a deck around it. So this week, it's the angry chicken. So you guys should totally go check it out and make an angry chicken deck.
That is TAC approved.
It is. It absolutely is. So he says, hello, podcasters. I wanted to share an interesting story regarding your namesake card. The Angry Chicken was the very first expert pack I opened, so naturally I saw it was epic, or I saw that it was epic and thought that this must be amazing for the first expert pack. Wait, hang on. Must be an amazing card. I got told there's just one big, huge block of text here, guys. Sorry. I put it into my priest deck with relatively little success for a few games until finally one game I played it and it didn't immediately die. I was able to buff it up next turn with 2 power word shields. The cards I drew were, of course, Divine Spirit and Inner Fire, in addition to another Divine Spirit in my hand. Soon I had played both Divine Spirits and the Inner Fire for a 20/20 chicken. I used it to take out Ascension Shield Master for a 25-17. Needless to say, I won the next turn. Thanks for the awesome podcast.
Wow.
25-17 chicken. I love it.
You're my hero, Michael. Also, the chicken's not epic. It's rare. I just had to put that in there to stem the emails that would inevitably come. But that's great. Wow.
Yep.
Why didn't I get a picture of that in my Twitter feed this week instead of 7 people with their multiple Kel'Thuzad's?
Oh, man, there were so many of those pictures.
There really were. And one of my art directors sent me one even. He knows
really?
He knows I do the show. They're like, what is that? What is
happening?
Damn you, Hearthhead! Damn you! Shakes fist. That's bad. But yeah. One of my art directors
What are we
knows
advertising for right now?
knows I do the show, and he was one of the multiple Kel'Thuzad guys this week. I was like, thanks. I was curious what you thought of the work I sent in, but I'm glad that you got 7 Kel'Thuzads on the board. So,
Priorities, dude. Priorities.
Yeah. Todd, if you're listening, enjoy that shout out. Anyways, let's round the week out with some emails, Jocelyn, before we get so giggly we just can't finish the show.
My face hurts.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
Emails, send them to the same place, TACpodcast@gmail.com. Our first email tonight comes to us from Danny, who writes, how do you feel about infinite combos in Hearthstone? If you're not aware, there already is one in the game, 4 times Sorcerer's Apprentice. You can get this with Duplicate or Faceless Manipulators, and Antonidas is infinite free fireballs. Now, this clearly isn't game-breaking or anything. Who would ever manage to get 4 Sorcerer's Apprentices into play at the same time anyway? But is this something that should be addressed? If not, how good does an infinite combo have to be before Blizzard allows it to exist? Playable at all? Because this isn't.
It is definitely extraordinarily specific.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of cards that you have to have. So you have to have your 2 Sorcerer's Apprentices just in your deck. Then you have to have Duplicate and Faceless and Antonidas. And they all have to be played in the right order and die at the right time.
Or not die. Not die is the thing. They have to not die.
Well, no, your sorcerer's apprentices have to die so that they get duplicated so you can have 4.
Oh, right. But then those 4 that you play don't have to not die.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just run 2 faceless and not the duplicate.
You could 2 faceless and 2
just
sorcerers.
play 2 and then you just faceless it twice and
would be slightly more reliable.
Yeah. I don't think you need to be concerned, Danny.
No.
At all. They would be targeted if they were. It sounded like a smart-ass remark, but I think that is the answer. If they were even close to remotely playable, I think you would see it addressed. But this is just the game would be over before you pulled this off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's a lot of mana too.
Yeah, this is like those perfect
end game things.
Yeah, like we saw the video. This was a long time ago with the Millhouse Mana Storm against the Druid, and the Druid burnt through his entire deck and killed the guy on turn 2.
Oh yeah, right.
It's a perfect scenario, and these guys clearly restarted the game a bazillion times to get the right draws to make this happen. But it's not playable.
Not
it's
something,
not something
that
you
have
can
to
count
worry
on.
about.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it. It is interesting that it exists, but weird things like this exist in other games as well, and they're just as unplayable. Yeah, that's a good point. It hasn't been brought up, so I'm glad he sent the email in. Mm-hmm. You want to take the next one, Jocelyn?
Sure. This one comes to us from Agent. He says, "Hi, Clux. Just finished up the heroic Nax fights and went back to the ladder to immediately be matched against a player whose tag cannot be mentioned on the show and has made me wonder why there's no way to report inappropriate tags. It's not my first encounter with a tag that made me genuinely uncomfortable for the 15 minutes I was forced to stare at it. Has Blizz ever mentioned implementing a system where these tags can be flagged? Love the show. Keep it up. And Dills, come back to ITN." So fair enough. I haven't heard them talk in all of their features about reporting battle tags. I know Xbox Live obviously has a report feature, but Garrett, have you ever run into tags that you found were really, really inappropriate?
You're talking to a man that's very hard to offend.
Well, that's true. I've got the wrong audience.
No, yes, I've seen some dumb shit, but I don't know. It's the internet, and I'm very desensitized at this point.
I was going to say, I've never seen anything. Like, I've seen things that are aggressive, I guess.
I wish he would have
things...
put what the tag is. I wish he or she would have put what the tag was.
Yeah.
Just out of... It's like, I don't know. I must get at least 3 games a week in Heroes of the Storm with some dude that has some kind of lame-ass weed reference. I was in game with a Nazebo the other night whose name was literally Sorry I'm High. And honestly, I got a good chuckle out of it because he was terrible. It was a very fitting name. As for, like... Because there's certain words that are blocked, so you can't get excruciatingly vulgar.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I didn't know that they had blocked words. Well, I guess...
can't just have, like, F-U-C-K... monger, like that can't be your name. It's not good.
I love that you think like spelling it out is not like swearing on the show.
I don't know.
No one who listens is going to spell this.
No, but what really my only concern is if you have a very small child in the room that you're just not blindsided by vulgar language and whatever. If they already know how to like read and spell, chances are they've seen an episode of South Park at some point. You may not know about it, but I'm probably not doing that much more damage. But yeah, I don't know. There's no report. I guess you can only block people in Hearthstone.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can actually report people. You can block them, but
yeah, again, strange things that haven't been brought up before because there are report features in every other Blizzard game.
Yeah, which maybe that's kind of the same as reporting in Hearthstone because now that everything is tied to your battle tag, if you can be reported in 4 out of 5 games, then maybe it's not really a priority. They assume that someone over WoW, Diablo, Heroes, whatever, is going to flag it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, and this is going to sound like a joke, but it's 100% serious. I kind of like that people can have douchey names because to me, it's just like dudes out in the wild wearing affliction shirts. I know I don't want to be this person's friend.
Exactly. You can see them coming. You know what their playstyle is going to be.
Exactly. Just like, oh, good. Thanks. Thanks for flying that flag. I will just keep moving. I appreciate it.
Do you want to take the next one?
Sorry
Garrett?
to any of my friends that actually wear Affliction shirts. I apologize, but you asked for it. Final email today comes to us from Sergeant Zim, who tweets at us often. Hello, Sergeant Zim. He says, "Howdy, Cluckers. With the rush of Naxxramas died down, I am back to my usual habit of playing to rank 20 once a month and doing quests. I am not a fan of Arena right now, as I have all of the cards I need, only missing a handful of legendaries. This brings me to my issue. I expect to have a lot of gold when the next expansion is announced at BlizzCon. I would wager, let alone when it hits. If we get new cards before December, I will be shocked. So the question is, how are they going to combat the inherent gold inflation as they introduce new sets in typical Blizzard fashion, i.e. soon for months?" I love Blizzard. Soon for months. I love that. I love Blizzard products, but one thing they can't do is quick. Keep up the good show. You have so many zingers in this email, Sergeant Zim. I want to e-hug you.
I know. I loved it.
I feel like we're dealing with an outlier here. Obviously, you're not alone, Sergeant Sam. There are going to be those of us frequently in this circle of hardcore players that are going to run into this issue. Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine that's the majority.
No, I don't think it's the norm. I think a lot of people just play casually and don't have huge stocks of gold. I usually burn through mine in arena runs. And I know he said he's not a fan of arena, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it cost, how much was it for Nax in the end in gold? I didn't use gold, I used money, so.
Why are you asking me things that I also did not do?
Because I don't have Encyclopedia Dills here, so.
Encyclopedia Dills? He didn't do it either. He bought it with money as well.
But he would know.
I don't think he does know. I don't.
It was
remember.
what, 700 a wing, so 700 times 4 is 2,800 gold.
Yep.
Yeah, so 2,800 gold. So it would probably take you a while to hit that, I would think.
And also, gold cards exist, and that's a huge gold sink that already is in the game.
That is true. Have you been crafting your golds?
Yeah. And then, I don't know. This is a really specific thing that's obviously to you, Sergeant Zim, because you say you don't like arena, so you're cutting out one of the major gold sinks. And then if you were to reply to me and say, well, I don't care about gold cards, it's like, well, there's the two major gold sinks that
you're not taking advantage of.
You just refuse to take part in. So I don't know. I don't know how to help you, man. I don't know how to help you.
You're on your own.
I have about every card I need, but I'm still missing some legendary, so I'm still burning through gold like crazy. Every time I get 100 gold, I crack a pack.
Yeah.
Lately, I've been saving the 100 gold for when I go on a bad losing streak, so I can do something that doesn't make me want to put my fist through the monitor.
So have you been arena-ing, or have you been opening
No.
packs?
I've been playing constructed, and when I lose like 2, then I'll open a pack, and then I'll go back to constructed.
Oh, I see.
It's like my break. I've been barely touching arena.
Oh, poor arena.
Yeah, I've had a little drive to play it at the moment, but that doesn't mean I'm not burning through gold like Sergeant Zim here. I am definitely, I could definitely use some more gold. It's not a problem I'm experiencing. So
I got to 10 wins in arena this weekend.
Congrats.
Made me very, very happy.
You should be. Did you do it with Dills?
Yes.
I won't take anything away from you. Congratulations.
But I was doing the moves, and then he was like, yep, that'll work. And I was like, okay. So he was just like,
that's exactly how I coach Katie. Because like at first she was just like, all right, what should I do? And then like after game 3, I'm like, no, you do what you're going to do, and I will yell at you if you're making a vital error.
Yes, which is pretty much how we played it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to do this, and this. And he was like, yep. I was like, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. You go, Dills. You coach correctly.
He's so patient.
You got him sick, man. You're keeping him up all late coaching you. And he's not getting his rest.
I know.
Darn it, Jocelyn. Darn it. Well, anyways, thanks everyone for your emails. Again, the email address was tacpodcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us if you got questions. I read that Twitter like crazy, at TACpodcast. But I think that'll more or less do it for this week's episode. What do you think, Jocelyn?
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. We got some time, though. We can take questions, can't we?
We can take some questions. Chat room, fire away. In the meantime, I'll thank our patrons from this week. TAC, as has been the case for quite a few months now, is supported by our badass mother effin'. I could spell that out too if you would prefer. Mother Cluckin'. Sorry, Mother Cluckin' patrons over at patreon.com/TAC, where we are up to 221 people backing our show, supporting us for $1,379 a month. And we cannot thank you guys enough. It's staggering. Every month I'm just like, what? I can't believe this is a thing. I love it. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank from the following patrons for this week. Thank you to Evan M, Matthew A, Marcus N, John K, and Gunnar W. Thank you guys so much for supporting this show. It means the world to us, and it helps us out insanely. So thank you for that. Garrett, when are you going to shave that crap off your face from Justin in the chat room? I don't know. I'm getting a haircut Wednesday, and I want to see how this looks with my haircut. And I will make an informed decision then. That's what's going to happen. So you will see
giving you such a hard time. I don't understand. It doesn't look that bad.
You will see the return of the Garrett hair next week.
Chat room wants to know, where is Dills? Dills is sick.
Dills is sick, yes. Yes.
I don't know if we actually mentioned where Dills is. He's actually sick.
I mentioned, right. I had the joke at the top, and I never said where he actually was. But, yeah. I would tease him. That's what you get, Dills, when you give me that much notice. I don't tell people while you're actually gone. I get to have fun with it. That's a liberty I take. Let's see. What
popping questions.
Okay. Look at you. The Yonsei says, what is sideboarding? You mention it a lot, but I don't know what it is. Sideboarding comes, it's another kind of artifact of Magic the Gathering. In Magic, a lot of times you'll have a 60-card deck and a 15-card what we call sideboard, which, so when you go to a tournament, you have to have all of your cards registered. So they know you're not cheating. You're not, shoving in cards, like mid-game. Say you're playing a best of 3 against some dude and he plays against you with some sort of deck. And you're like, whoa, well, there's this one specific card, and if I slide into my deck, I'll definitely win. Well, that's cheating, unless it's a sideboard card. A sideboard means, hey, there's these 15 other cards that I'm allowed to side in between games that are registered, and you're allowed to do that. There really hasn't been a high-profile tournament I can think of that has come up with a proper way to sideboard in Hearthstone. The issue with Hearthstone is it's a 30-card deck, so if you did a 15-card sideboard, you could completely change the way your deck functions, as opposed to putting in just maybe a couple types of specific removal to deal with a specific threat. So that's what sideboarding is.
Good job.
What's the next question you want to answer, Joss?
Do we think that the next expansion of 100 plus cards is a huge amount? Or isn't the next question? Or next
Isn't the next a huge amount? No. Next question.
Next question. I think, did we talk about that a couple weeks ago?
We mentioned it on and off. And I still think bring on more cards. It is a large influx of cards for Hearthstone as we know it.
Yeah.
As we know it. But we've had only one influx of cards, and it's been through this adventure thing that's completely different from any card game that's ever come before it. Mm-hmm. Card games traditionally have massive influxes of new cards whenever we do get new cards. So no, 100 cards is not a huge amount. This game, as far as competitive TCGs are concerned, has a tiny amount of currently existing cards by comparison.
So next question is, do you think the Naxx map should be included in the regular map rotation? I was thinking that beating all of Naxx on Heroic should unlock it. Interesting thought.
That was even mentioned by Ben Brode on Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's going to go into the rotation, but they want to keep Naxx feeling special for now.
Yeah, he didn't specifically say it was moving into the rotation, but he said it was a possibility. Stay tuned, but that they like it the way it is at the moment because it makes Naxx feel special. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that, Joss? Because honestly, I think the second Naxx came out, Naxx map should have been in rotation because I think it would have personally helped build even more hype.
Yeah, I think so.
I
I think that would have kind of made people who haven't played it already or haven't downloaded it or whatever get excited about it.
It's kind of like, maybe it's a bad analogy, but in my head it pops up. It's like being in World of Warcraft before the expansion hits. You get the pre-expansion patch that brings all the new goodies. Mm-hmm. You get to see that whether you bought the expansion or not. You get to play with the new talents. You get to, the new, like I remember, this is going back, in Vanilla, the pre-Burning Crusade patch is like, oh my god, there's Blood Elves. I can see them. They're right here. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of giving it to people who beat all of Heroic and using it kind of like a card back that, like, if you're going up against somebody and all of a sudden you're on the Naxx map, you're like, oh no, this guy's totally awesome because he's beat Heroic Naxx,
Yeah.
Like another type of intimidation factor, I guess.
Yeah, but that would only be good for X amount of time until just everyone had more or less unlocked it. Because then when you would see it, you're like, well, am I seeing it because I unlocked it or am I seeing it because he unlocked it? It no longer matters. So, yeah, I think you should just throw it in the rotation. I don't see any reason why not because
True.
I'm sick of those 3 maps, man. I want to see it. I love the Naxx board. It's amazing. I want to see it more often.
It's fun.
I'm not going back and replaying Naxx. It's not something I have a lot of interest in doing. I want to see the board.
What is your favorite thing to do along with Hearthstone? Do you do anything else?
Just in general?
Yeah, like do you listen to music? Do you watch TV? Do you just Hearthstone?
I do a lot of that, and you can hear me talk about all of those things at length on A-Move Radio, where it has basically turned into the What the Hell is Garrett Watching podcast.
Fair enough. Good plug.
No, but besides that, I'm trying to think of like what I really enjoy doing besides Hearthstone. I'm playing a lot of Diablo lately. Every day at 5 o'clock, when I am technically done with work, since I now work from my home office, I play my guitar for at least 45 minutes.
But not with Hearthstone. What do you do while you play Hearthstone?
Oh, with Hearthstone. I thought you meant instead of Hearthstone.
Why are you telling me? How do you play guitar and Hearthstone at the same time?
Sometimes I do that. I noodle in between turns. Never mind. I misunderstood the question. I'll listen to podcasts. That's really the only thing I do. I try listening to audiobooks, but I find myself thinking too hard about the turn and missing entire chunks of really important information from the current Dresden Files book I'm on. So can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because I missed the archive and I had to rewind to find out who the archive was, and she is an amazing character and I would have missed out.
Aw.
So what about you, Joss?
I listen to music, or when I'm streaming, then obviously I'm just talking to people, but drinking is probably the biggest thing I do while I Hearthstone. Okay. Unless I'm on the way to work. I don't drink on the way to work.
Now, you have mentioned that you're not a music snob.
No, I'm
not.
As
I consider myself. So what music do you listen to? I'm curious.
Actually, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've been listening to a lot of the Double Clicks, which we saw them at Nerdtacular.
They were amazing.
Yeah, so they have 3 albums, so I downloaded all 3 albums and bought them through iTunes and supported the artist and all that fun stuff because they are fantastic. And I've just been listening to them, and they're so funny.
Let's be honest, as someone who grew up with Napster, legally purchasing music is officially easier than pirating.
It is.
It's finally gotten to that point where it's just like, just go to Amazon.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm all hipstery and order the vinyl and get the MP3 along with it. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I do.
Okay. Fair enough. I've been listening to a lot of Masked Intruder.
What is Masked Intruder?
They are a 4-piece pop punk band where all 4 of them wear color-coded ski masks, and they write pop punk love songs from the perspective of the stalker living in your bush outside your house.
Because what else would you listen to?
It's amazing. And they mix in like doo-wop and all kinds of, and there's in their most recent album, there's an a cappella track. They're one of my favorite bands right now. Just go check them out. They're amazing.
So what was that called again?
Masked Intruder.
Okay.
Like there is a masked intruder in my house.
It's Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. Look up ADT Security Can't Keep Me Away From You. Look that song up. just do it.
I love it already.
Go look it up. Next question.
With the upcoming influx of new cards, do you want to know every card and its attributes before release, or do you want to be surprised?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading chat room. Repeat that. It's not. Is this isn't in the notes, is it? You didn't pull it out?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
in
it
the
is?
notes. It's right here.
Oh, okay. Do you want to know every card and its attributes before release, or would you like to be surprised by some of them? No, I don't want to be surprised at all.
No, not even a little.
Again, I come from when a new set of Magic cards comes out.
Did they tell you everything?
I do my best. Yes, yeah. They preview the cards before the set is released, and then podcasts and major fan websites do their card reviews, and they try to get them out before the pre-release tournaments, so that you have an idea of what you're going to be looking at when you go to this tournament with over 300 cards potentially you might be seeing, because you only have 30 minutes to build the deck. It's nice to go in with as much ammunition as you can find.
I guess.
But that's me. So when I'm going to one of these Magic pre-release tournaments with a set I've never played before, I definitely try and make it through the 6-hour card review from limited resources before I go to my local pre-release. But that's me. I'm assuming you, Jocelyn, are going to enjoy being surprised. I've podcasted with you for 44 weeks now. I have a feeling I know what your answer is.
Yeah, you totally do.
Okay.
I love being surprised. I love looking at a card and going, that sounds awesome. And then playing it and go, oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like eye for an eye, like angry chicken.
See,
I love that, like, trial and error. But again, I don't play in big, huge competitive tournaments, right?
Right.
So,
And obviously with Hearthstone, I'm a little less in that camp because we don't have pre-release tournaments. We don't have a way to play
and we
limited
don't have
Hearthstone.
300 cards getting dropped on us all at once.
Right.
Although this next influx of 100 will be, I think with that, it's a lot to take in, at least for me. I mean, you're used to like these big, huge Magic releases, right? So, but for me, I'm just like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to process 100 cards and figure out what's best, like all at once. That's just crazy to me. So I'd rather just jump in like I did at the start of Hearthstone when there were 400 cards and just mess around with stuff and play and see what happens and do science. Thank you, chat room.
Yeah. No, and I hope I don't come across as saying like, well, the way I play is the right way. There are so many people playing this game that are going to be all types of different players. I use that in terms of like how you consider yourself, the way you play the game, and none of it's wrong. And like I said, I'm less in that camp with Hearthstone because we don't have a way to play competitive, limited Hearthstone. At least not yet. I hope, Yong Woo, if you're listening, I know you wanted to because Ben Bro told me you did. Make it happen.
On to you.
Speaking
of, it's his birthday today, isn't it? Or was that yesterday?
Oh, I believe it was today. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Happy birthday.
So it'd be yesterday for listening on podcast, Yong Woo. Happy birthday, Yong Woo. But I would really, obviously, if that happens, then that's exactly what I would want. I would want to see every single card before I jump into like a competitive arena tournament or something. But since that doesn't exist, I'm less concerned. Obviously, I like it for the show. I'd like, maybe not all 100 before, but I'd like to get a preview of, maybe 25, 40 cards, in the month or two leading up to the release of the expansion.
I feel like maybe if they previewed the class cards so that if you had a deck that you were playing all the time, you could kind of get a heads up of how you might tweak that and then just leave the neutral cards up for grabs, surprised me sort of a deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I to some point, I think you need to show a little bit of your hand, pun intended, to drum up some excitement.
No way. Innovate on the fly.
Whatever, miss. I got 10 wins with Dill's helping me.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach you.
How many wins have you got, Garrett?
I've gotten the 10 alone. Thank you very much.
Just teasing you.
Alone, laying in bed in my boxers, where I play my best Hearthstone at my highest peak of comfort.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
And with that, we will end the episode. Picturing
with Garrett at his highest peak.
Of comfort.
Of comfort. Comfort, right.
Highest peak, though. You just made it sound worse.
Your words, dude.
You try and come off all sweet and Canadian innocent, but I know that
Sweet
truth.
Canadian.
Wonderful stuff. Chat room, you guys have been delightful this evening. Thank you guys very much for filling in for Dills. Because no one can fill Dills' shoes. The chat room combined is the closest we will get to bringing in the power and force of Willie Dills Gregory. Thanks to those of you also who left us reviews in the iTunes store. This week I wanted to thank Waffle Fury. You didn't even leave a review. I just saw that name somewhere and said, that's awesome. I want to thank that person for making that name. Thank you to B182 fan. I'm assuming that's Blink-182.
Gotta be.
I approve of your musical taste. Thank you to Gentleman's Gentleman, which I also like the name of. It's just winners across the board tonight. Thank you to Abby Weaver and Hudims. And then someone vomited letters at the end of the name.
That's a lot of consonants.
Yeah. Wanted by a vowel. Thank you. Anyone from Canada this week, Jocelyn?
Yeah, we have Dan McNabb from Canada this week. So thanks very much, Dan, for your 5-star review.
Thank you all so much. Again, thanks to our patrons. Thanks to those of you leaving us reviews in the iTunes store. It's just, everyone helping out the show. We really appreciate it. The Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and the Frog Pants Studios. Head on over to frogpants.com for that. Email us at tacpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at TACpodcast. We record the show live every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/amovetv. And you can catch the mobile live stream over at alphageekradio.com. Big thanks to Brian Griffith. He's the musician who made our intro music. You can find his work over at briangriffithmusic.com. As for me, I'm on Twitter, reading it obsessively, like I'll die if I don't get my next fix, over at Garrett Art, GARRETTART. So you can follow me and tell me you disagree with my opinions. You're not alone. A lot of people do that. Check out nomoonart.com. That's my graphic design portfolio. You can also find a forum to contact me if you need a graphic designer for freelance. Come check it out. I think some of my work doesn't suck. I don't know. See for yourself.
Garrett's work is great. You're looking at it right now.
Yeah. Are we?
The
overlay.
The Angry Chicken one, dude.
Yeah, but this is mostly cannibalized from Hearthstone. I mean, I just laid it out. But yeah. And check out Into the Nexus, my Heroes of the Storm podcast I do with Kyle Ferguson, reuniting the StarCast duo to talk about Blizzard's latest and greatest MOBA. Jocelyn, where can you be found?
On Twitter at GIS Gamer. I'm pretty much everywhere under that name, so if you're looking for me, it's probably me. I'm also on the Gamers Inn every Friday night on AMove TV, except for not this Friday night because I'm going to be on vacation. And
I was going to fill in, but I can't because I forgot about a family thing. I'm sorry, Ryan. I want to talk Destiny so bad.
It's okay. He has other people. I even lined up a backup guest, and then Ryan was like, no, it's cool. I got somebody. I'm like, oh my God, we never have this many people who want to fill in. So I'm going to be back because I'm going to Ontario for Ryan's wedding. So we're not doing an episode at all on the, I don't know, not this Friday, next Friday, but on the 26th, I will be back and I will be joined by Patrick, Octane Pro. So we're probably going to talk a lot of Smite.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know Patrick was coming on.
Yes,
fun fact, Patrick used to be the producer for StarCast.
Yeah, he was the dude.
He booked all our guests. He ran the live stream before I learned how to use XSplit. He had his hands all up in that. That was another poor choice of words by Garrett Weinzierl on episode 44 of The Angry Chicken. I'm gonna stop talking now before I make things even worse than they already are. Check out our sponsors, doghouse-systems.com. The code to use is TAC. It'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. Also, check out the Angry Chicken Special Edition rig. It'll have the Angry Chicken logo, designed by me, plastered right on the side of it, and it'll look mighty sexy as it's chewing through whatever game you happen to throw at it. Because I love my Doghouse system.
I love mine too.
It's shiny. And it gets the job done. Check them out. We thank them for their support. We thank you guys for listening. And we will see you all next week for episode 45 of The Angry Chicken. Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!
I was like, oh no, what's going to happen?
Someone had to do it.